In this video, you will learn to tell the time by looking at a clock, to rename time with different units, to add and subtract time, and then how to find a fraction of time. So let's begin with telling time by looking at a clock. All right, so here is a clock, and notice we have two hands. We got a short hand and a long hand. The short hand is the hour, and the long hand is going to be the minute. So you begin by looking at the hour hand. All right, so see where it's pointing. Notice it's pointing at the 3. So this would be 3 something. So the hour you put first, and then you put a colon right here to separate the hours from the minutes. Now you look at this longer hand, the minute hand, to determine the minutes. So up here at 12, this would be like 0 minutes. And then see these little tick marks around? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is like 5 minutes. And then we keep going, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 2 is at 10 minutes. The 3 would be at 15 minutes. So you're basically counting by 5s. You have 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45, 50 at the 10, and at the 11 is 55 minutes. And then the 12 would be back to 60 minutes, which is the top of the hour. All right, so it resets back at 0 once it gets to 12. All right, so we see that the minute hand is pointing up at the 12, which is 0. So we put 2 zeros here like this. So that would be 3 o'clock. All right, and that's the time for this clock right here. Okay, next in this picture, we see that the minute and the hour hand are in different locations. So let's begin by trying to figure out what hour we're at. So the hour hand is the shorter hand, and notice it's between 7 and 8. So this would still be considered 7 something. All right, so the time is still has an hour of 7. All right, and then the minute hand is the longer one, and notice it's here at the 10. Remember we said we count by 5s for the minutes, so 5 times 10 is 50. This is the 50-minute mark. So our time would be 7 colon, and the minutes would be 50. So we would say the time is 7:50. And by the way, the hour hand is close to the 8 because 7:50 is approaching or getting pretty close to 8 o'clock. Once this hour or this minute hand goes up here to 12, so 10 minutes from now, when it reaches 12, the minute hand, or sorry, the hour hand would be over here at 8 exactly. So it's getting close to 8 o'clock, but not quite. That's why it's here between 7 and 8. One more example. Here we have another time on this clock, and try to figure out the hour and the minutes on this example. So look at the hour hand, the shorter hand. All right, we see it's between 12 and 1. So it's 12 something. It's not 1 o'clock yet, but it's after 12, 12 something. So the hour is 12. And the minute hand, we have to look here, and we see it's between, this is 20, right? Because 4 times 5 is 20. That's 20 minutes. And this is 25 minutes. So if we count from 20, we go 1, 2, 3. We realize that this is at 23. All right, so the time in the minutes would be 23. So the time put together, the hour is 12, the minutes is 23. So we say the time would be 12:23. All right, so make sure you know how to read a clock like this. And next we're going to talk about how to rename time. So we talked about hours and minutes. We also have seconds. We want to know how to convert between different things. So first off, realize that 1 minute is 60 seconds. All right. Also know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then 1 day is 24 hours. So for renaming time, make sure you know those three different conversions right there. And by the way, we see the abbreviations. For minute is MIN, for seconds is SEC, for hours it's HR, and for day it's the letter D. Now converting between one and another unit is the same process as we've learned in previous lessons, where if you're converting from a larger to a smaller unit, you're going to need to multiply. And then if you're going from a smaller to a larger unit, you will need to divide. So here are a couple examples we can look at. Example 1, we are converting 5 hours into minutes. Well, hours is larger than minutes, so we need to multiply because we're going from larger to smaller. And 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we multiply 5 times 60, and that gives you 300. So 5 hours would equal 300 minutes. Here's another example. We have 240 hours equals how many days? So here, hours are smaller than days. So we're going from smaller to larger, which means we need to divide. And realize that one day has 24 hours. So we divide 240 by 24, and that gives you 10. So 240 hours would equal 10 days. So here we've learned how to rename time by converting from one to another. Next, we're going to work on adding and subtracting time. So for this example, we are adding 7 hours 40 minutes with 4 hours and 30 minutes. Now when you add, you want to add the like terms. So the hours you want to add together. So 7 hours plus 4 hours gives you 11 hours. And then you add the minutes. 40 plus 30 gives you 70 minutes. So we've added correctly, but we also want to make sure we simplify. Because 70 minutes right here, that is more than 1 hour, right? 70 minutes would equal 1 hour, which is 60 minutes, plus another 10 minutes. So what we have really is 70 would be 1 hour, 10 minutes. So you have that in addition with the 11 hours. So you have 11 hours plus that 1 hour, 10 minutes. You add the hours together, 11 plus 1, that gives you 12 hours. So we have 12 hours, 10 minutes for this problem. For example 4, we are going to work with subtraction. And we have 12 hours, 20 minutes minus 9 hours, 30 minutes. All right, so when you subtract, we're doing the same kind of process as we did for addition. We subtract the hours and we subtract the minutes. The only problem here is that on the top we have 20 minutes. That's smaller than the 30 minutes. So for subtraction, we actually need to borrow from the 12 here, borrow 1 hour, make that 11, and the 1 hour we borrow, you want to convert into minutes. So the 1 hour we borrow, we want to add over here as 60 minutes. So that gives us 11 hours and then 80 minutes total. All right, so on the top we now have 11 hours, 80 minutes, and then minus 9 hours, 30 minutes. And from here we can subtract because 11 minus 9 gives you 2 hours, then 80 minus 30 minutes gives you 50 minutes. So your solution would be 2 hours and 50 minutes. So we've learned up to this point how to tell time. We've learned how to rename time. We've learned how to add and subtract with time. And now to finish off, we want to work with fraction of time. So for this example, example 5, we're trying to find 1/5 of an hour and see how many minutes is that equal to. So this is basically a conversion problem like we did a little bit ago, where to convert from hours to minutes, we have 1 hour is 60 minutes, and we're going from larger to smaller units. So we'll need to multiply. So you multiply 1/5 times 60. All right, so make sure you know how to multiply with fractions. And this is 60 over 1, same thing. And so what you have is 1 times 60 over 5 times 1. So you have 60 divided by 5, which would give you 12. So 1/5 times 60 equals 12, meaning that 1/5 of an hour would equal 12 minutes. Let's try one more example like this. And here we have a different fraction. And we're trying to find 2/3 of an hour equals how many minutes. So here the conversion is 1 hour is 60 minutes. And again, we're going from larger to smaller, so hours to minutes. So we multiply. And you multiply 2/3 times the 60. All right, and when you multiply, you could multiply first and then simplify, or you could always simplify before you multiply. So if you simplify first, what that would look like is, remember, you would do the 60 and the 3 on the top and the bottom. Those can both be divided by 3. When you do that, divide both by 3, we get 20 and 1. So we get 2 times 20, which is 40, over 1 times 1, which is 1. So the answer is going to be 40. So 2/3 of an hour would equal 40 minutes. And this concludes our lesson for today. We will see you next time.